it went to 2.0. Now, if you go to the single stream, it went again $600,000 more. So for convenience of commingling and say to the residents, okay, put in one bag, don't mix, you can mix it, it's a $600,000 over a period of 5 years. Is it worth it? That's what we have to discuss tonight. Now, if you go to automated, again jumps drastically to $3.3 million. So now, you go to pay-as-you-throw, is the biggest diversion on the solid waste. But also, the numbers are changing very similarly on the recycling. 2 million, 2.6, and 3.3. So when you add those numbers, you get the summary. Now, also, two vendors gave us an option. And they said, if you go automated on a solid waste, let's see what will cost also on an automated on a recycling. So you have nice barrels, you know, uniform throughout the town. So that last line, what was introduced is if we would go to solid waste using this barrel, but bi-weekly going to recycling with this barrel. This is 96 gallons. Now, I look at the price, and you can see again, the cost of barrel goes all the way to 8.4. Now, if you look at this, this is also pretty substantial barrel, 96 gallons. You know, if you have a long driveway, if you have to, you know, they roll very easily. They are not this here, but the price-wise, the price-wise is, but we don't want to put, if you would stay weekly, that is $3.3 million. So it's an $800,000 difference between weekly and bi-weekly. So it's a huge difference.
So basically what you're asking, Janusz, is instead of everybody recycling every week, it's twice a month.
No, I'm asking, that's the last number. That's right. What it's showing, yes. Bi-weekly, but we would have to introduce the bigger. We would save, if we go to the smaller barrels, we would save like $10,000, $10,000. However, would that barrel would that container would be big enough? I'm afraid they might not. We want as much as recycling as possible, so you don't want to limit.
No, that's what I'm wondering about that barrel, because I can tell you, looking at that, that's not big enough for my house.
Then you are the guilty one who's not recycling enough. Because where's the
would you put cardboard? Everything would go in there. No. The cardboard, or would everything? The cardboard and the newspapers would be separate, and this would just be the for the trash.
Rub it here, but
okay.
If
Janusz brought us something.
This is a 13-gallon garbage bag that you will have. If you will have this every day coming to your waste, look how many, you could put easily 7 of them like that. If this is under your countertop, it's one like this. You can easily fit 7 of them every day, could have one. So tell the kids to eat whatever you put on the plate. That's how I grew up. You don't put in a garbage. And when you have the box from the waste, from the cereal, you crush it and you put to the recycling. Don't put it here.
So that's
how we encourage. That's how we will encourage that.
We'll let them finish, then we'll ask.
Limit volume. That will encourage to the recycling. So it appears to it. I heard it. They might not be big enough, but when you look at the size, it is pretty sizable. So I think.
So the blue ones recycle and the red
30
ones.
minutes will be after.
No. I'm just asking. The blue ones recyclable and the red ones garbage, or
right now, the blue one is recyclable only if we decide to go with the last line.
Okay.
Okay, because that would be it's not what it's going to go in the next slide. Okay, next one here. Now, what you see here in this slide, it's our 5 years cost option in comparison to those. If we will stay with what we have right now in town, and a conventional existing $6.5 million, dual stream 1.8, that's the lowest price from both of those. What we also did in the proposal, that we can mix the companies. We don't have to stay with one company. We can have one company just like we have right now, Allied and Waste. So now, if you look at this, they're all mixed. However, you cannot go diagonally on this. You have to go only horizontally. So now the total cost for 5 years is 8.3. Now, what will give us the biggest savings? As you can see the next line, on the last column, $750,000 over the 5 years. That if we pick the pay-as-you-throw. That's $5.5 million for solid waste, and dual stream is $2 million. Now, the next saving that is not as high is when we will put automated solid waste and dual stream just like we have right now. So this is again the same $2 million for dual stream. However, for solid waste, we'll go to automated using these 64-gallon containers. That will save us $350,000 over the period of 5 years. Again, this is with assumption that additional 17% will be diverted, up to 33% to go to recycling. We think that these numbers are pretty solid, that additional 17% could be diverted. Now, the next lesser of a saving is if you pay pay-as-you-throw and you go to single-stream recycling, also manual, not automated, because automated was like $3.3 million, so that didn't make a cut. Now, we stopped at that point because you can see that 8.1 is slightly less than existing 8.3, so might as well stay with conventional. So what we are looking at these prices were based on today's tonnage, 9,667 tons. Also, in each of these contracts, each vendor had provisions for fuel adjustment. And when I look at this here, I was looking what would I recommend to the town council. I picked automated solid waste with dual stream. I look at this, that this is probably the least inconvenience to the residents. It will divert to the recycling because we will limit the waste, the volume. I think, Sean, you'll be able to fit in this the week worth of solid waste. We don't have administrative cost, and it's definitely less than staying with existing methods. And if you look at the prices between $750,000 and $350,000, the difference is $400,000. $400,000 over the period of 5 years, that is probably $8 annually on a $300,000 home. So the difference is $8 in taxes. Or if you use only 2 bags a week, and a bag is $2 that you will have to spend times 50, that's $200. So which one would you pick? $200 in fees, yes, will offset, or pay $8 in taxes. So, and you don't have the inconvenience of going to the store and picking up the bags. We don't have the cost of administration cost that is, pretty substantial. Now, also, the next contract, we already own the containers. So if we go, and the industry definitely will go in that direction, we will own the containers. So that's $370,000 already that we have. What we ask in our proposal to do it, to show us 2 different ways. The vendors will buy and provide the containers, or we will be leasing them. What leasing is that they don't have to invest the money in the containers, but the town will pay the invoice monthly for leasing. They will still manage the leasing contract. So that was the cheapest. We found out that was the cheapest for us, and the savings we have from diversion pays for containers. You could see it in these numbers. So I could not see how I could not recommend, knowing that the containers are guaranteed for 10 years. After 5 years we own the containers, you paid $8 in taxes or $200 in a fee of buying this, because even the people, I will collect $1 million or $1.1 million in fees for the bags, but you pay for it, residents pay for it. So to me, this probably was the least inconvenient method and will save us the most. And the next slide is what you will like a lot, and I think Dave loves it, because I'm going to tell him a little bit even more about it. Because after the last town council meeting, last March meeting,